What's up, everybody? Thank you again. Once again, much appreciation and gratitude. You know, you guys, this is a mom and pop podcast, man. It's me and my son and a couple friends, man.
We're having a good, another great week, bro.
That's right.
This is it, dude.
All right.
Got my new Raiders.
Why you guys so fucking uptight?
I got my new Raiders hat.
You guys look like you're auditioning for the fucking show, man.
I got my new fucking.
You guys forgot? Like, hey, we fucking pick. Like, I and you pick it up. What
yeah,
the fuck, dude?
I was waiting for the.
We're recovering from the weekend. That's what it is, bro. That's why.
Are you stoned again, bro? Tell the truth.
Of course I am. Yeah.
God damn, Robert! I told you get stoned as the show is flowing, bro.
I like it when I'm driving, though. You know.
That's
the best.
No more being mean to Robert.
Okay, yeah, I know you know, Robert. I gotta stop.
I know exactly, motherfucker.
Yeah. You know what? You got people that love you, dude. Because every time I bust your balls, they're like, "Oh, leave little Robert alone."
Yeah, leave me alone, bro.
Someone in the comment last week was like, "Man, really, you really gotta respect Robert more," and that shit got like fucking 20 likes.
Damn.
All right. Everybody that loves Robert, look. All I ask you, Robert, is what did I tell you about weed? Like I'm not against weed, but what do I say?
You want me to smoke in the studio?
Yeah, not live, show up high. That way, there's a progression, bro.
Yeah, but I like it like this.
All right. Well, fuck it.
Let's fucking introduce our guest.
Exactly.
Well, listen, I'm excited, man. We got a cat that I enjoy watching. He's got a unique style, and what I mean by unique style is he's what I would label, and it sounds corny, but like a real comedian. And what's the difference between a real comedian and is somebody that is always interjecting their thoughts and what's going on in our society, and he also blends in his own life. And a lot of cats they're scripted, and you can see from beginning to end the same show for 20 years. Yeah. And so there's those comics, and then there's comic like Sam Tripoli here, man. So no, really, I'm glad you're here. For those of you who might not know who Sam is, he's he's one of these guys I would say likes pushing the envelope, taking chances, and risky dude, man. Okay,
you guys know all about that. He's down to choke somebody out real quick.
Yeah, or get choked out.
I mean,
okay.
Depending on the night.
I gotta share this story with you guys. Okay, what's your take, bro? I think I know the answer, but
first of all, thanks for having me.
No,
I appreciate it. I have a lot of respect for you. I'm gonna throw this back at you. You're a great writer, dude. You're like the old school, which I'm part of, which is like constantly writing, sitting down. We might not have the same writing style. Like I talk to myself all day. That's how I write.
Yeah, right.
But through like friends, I hear like you sit down and you're always writing, dude.
Yeah,
and that's why you're such a great comic.
Well, just to tell you, bro, I'd be perfectly honest with you, and this is the truth, Sam. I am a terrible, terrible writer, bro, but I work the percentages. So for every 25 jokes that I write, 3 hit. Yeah. So I have to write a lot to be
on the same way, dude.
To be like one of you cats that is always hitting. So I have to work, really hard to but obviously you don't tell the audience how much my material sucks, because then you just give them what works. So that's I play the percentage.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's how you got to do it, dude. Right. You gotta like throw it out there and see if it survives. And not every joke does. I would say 10 jokes I write, I'm blessed to get 2 that can make it into the mix.
Yeah, that's about my average.
You know what I'm saying?
That's about my average,
I think that's
bro.
a good average, dude. Yeah. I think it's probably shitty for baseball, but great for comedy, right? Where if you can have 2, and if you could write 1 decent joke a week, you'll have a new hour by the end of the end of the year. It is hard,
but it takes discipline. A lot of people don't have that. I've always said that the reason comedians don't write is because, first of all, a lot of comedians need to be around a group. As you know, they need to have people around them for them to feel whole. So when you write, you have to go somewhere by yourself.
Yes.
And you have to listen to your own thoughts. and a lot of people don't like themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and we all have that. I'm not saying I'm healed from with all the trauma that I've had in my life. You know, obviously I'm not completely healed, but I know that in order for me to write, I have to stand myself.
Yes.
I have to at least, I don't have to be in love with me, but I have to at least accept myself.
Yes.
And that's what helps me write. And I think the reason I've always said this, the reason a lot of comedians don't go out there and take chances and write is because, you know, I'll ask a comedian, hey, did you write this week? No, I didn't write. Oh, did you write last week? No, I didn't write. Well, comedians that we know, bro, I've asked a couple. We had them here. I'm not going to say their names. But they literally told me, I don't write. I just let it come to me. I was like, okay. And I just had to sit here and go, okay.
Like they write on stage.
But to me, yeah, okay, that's part of it. When you write a lot, that is one element that where Richard Pryor called it, the comedy gods are smiling upon you.
Yeah, I call them downloads.
Okay,
you download the joke.
Yeah, it just comes from the universe,
Yes.
right? Yeah, you just all of a sudden, boom, and then, that's a keeper.
Yeah.
But to say you don't write at all, I think that's gonna lean towards you hearing something and then taking it on stage, like hearing a joke from somebody and saying, "Oh, that came to me from
I think that happens a lot. I don't know if people actually go out and I mean, there are people, and I know them who's heard a joke going, "Oh, that's good. I'm going to do that." And I think that's kind of the only people. Like, I don't care how funny you are on stage. If you're a nice guy off stage, we can be cool, dude. You know, like, not everybody's got the talent to be a great comic. But if you're an asshole off stage, I want nothing to do with you. And if you steal jokes, I find that to be a felony, in my opinion, because a joke, they've done studies on why people laugh, and they found it's surprise. When they have a surprise kind of punchline or something that's what gets people to laugh. So when someone takes your joke and does it before you, it dilutes the surprise because they might have heard it again.
Right.
They heard it before. So that's why you're stealing intellectual property from people. I used to be the comedy police where I want to regulate fucking everybody and and then
everybody was when Carlos. That first thing dropped. Everybody was comedy police. Everyone was.
Well, here's the thing about Carlos, right? And I've been thinking about.
By the way, people, he's talking about Carlos Mencia, which listen, I had him here, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, him and I, we were never ever close.
Yeah,
But to me, as I'm older and wiser, I'm like, look, man, you went through what you went through, and you got punished, and I feel. The punishment's got to fit the crime. So I think, all right, you did your shit.
Here's the only thing I'm gonna say.
2 decades, you know.
And if he'll never hear it, but I would just want to say is like, stop doing shows telling everybody you didn't steal, because every time you do that, it resets your recovery. You go back to day one.
No, I had him here, bro. He did the same thing.
Yeah, he said he's never gonna. If you look at him versus like Dane Cook, right?
Yeah.
People now are taking Dane Cook on the road. He's doing shows with Matt Rife because Dane Cook just owned it, said I'm not doing it anymore, and then he doesn't hang out in the comedy clubs. Like when he does a show, he's not even in the showroom anymore because he knows what everyone thinks, and he doesn't bring it up anymore, and he doesn't deny it, and everyone's like, because everybody loves a redemption story, dude. Right. I mean, we've all fucked up, and we don't want to be judged, but Carlos won't stop telling everybody. What he goes on these shows and he says is that everyone else is lying. And it's not true, dude. Yeah. It's not true.
Have you seen that Hulu episode, The Dark Side of Comedy, that came out?
Is it recent?
Yeah, maybe about a year ago. And the whole episode is just denies it, and you can see it's like,
did I get interviewed for that?
Yeah, you're like fucking three quarters of the fucking episode.
Yeah.
And but it was just like, but it was multiple comedians, you know what I mean? And it's just insane how his brain works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's why he made it, because he would, like I always say this, like manifestation, dude. Like even quote unquote bad people can use it, or mean people can use it. But the reason
it's like the 48 Laws of Power,
right?
It's a book that can be used to advance your wisdom and your knowledge of human behavior, and you can also use it to fucking mind fuck people. Right?
I remember when I was taking like Jeet Kune Do back in the day, and my sifu said, unfortunately, quote unquote, bad people can learn martial arts too, and they could use it in bad ways, right? So yeah, you can use manifestation, but the problem comes is like once you make it, you have to pull people up, like you have to help others, and when you don't do that, that's when you end up losing shit. You got to give it away. That's why I think Joe Rogan's where he is, because I mean, there's a lot of people going after Joe Rogan right now. But I don't know anyone who's helped more people than Joe Rogan, right? So that's why he's where he's at. That's my humble opinion. But, if you're going to keep telling everybody you didn't steal when it's universally accepted and seen, you're never going to recover, dude. You're never going to recover.
Yeah, no.
And it's not our thing, but...
bro, listen, I had him here, man. And I just, at the end of the day, when it was all said and done, I just told him, I wish you well, and I hope that you go on from here.
You're old school like me, dude.
Like go on from here, dude. I'm over it. I'm like, because it's been 2 decades, bro.
Yeah, dude.
2 decades,
And he's still
that's like saying something from the 70s and going, oh yeah, that was a hit in the 50s.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, well, it's a long time ago. I wish him well. He's still, like you said, he's in denial. But I wanted to ask you. My original question with you was, because you're an edgy guy, bro. I don't think you go out of your way to be edgy. I think it's just your persona.
Yeah,
you're just kind of this dude that's out there with your mind and use that. Use who you are on stage.
Can I tell you why I'm like that?
Are you on the spectrum?
No, but my kid is. But
because a lot of us comedians.
No, I'm convinced my father is the oldest autistic human being on the planet. He's like almost 80, and I'm convinced he's autistic. But I saw my father have like 1 million seizures, dude. Like when I was a kid, I saw him have a ton of seizures, and it like emotionally affected me.
Fall on the ground, right?
Well, he would be laying in bed. We'd be watching television, right, and then he would start going, yeah. And then I knew it was coming, and he would just start the seizure on me, and it became like this weird kind of like defense mechanism when like the paramedics would come, and I would just be cracking jokes to deal with like what I was dealing with all the time. Right. So I always wondered like where did that darkness come from, and it's a defense mechanism of having to deal with this childhood trauma. You brought trauma earlier, like childhood trauma of seeing your dad have a ton of seizures. So that's kind of where the jokes come from. And it's like, I don't know, man. I've always been a dark comedian. I've always liked dark comedy.
You see, I don't, and I say dark, man, but I hate that I use the word dark because obviously when you see the pictures there, Lenny Bruce, I loved his early work before he got too into the whole court thing.
Yeah,
I loved his material. We talk about dark, Richard Pryor, Carlin could have been he was a little dark at times, not all the time because. He was kind of, he went up and down and kind of played pop, but then like the pop hits.
No, I get it.
And then he was dark. But I think Bill Hicks.
Yeah. He was a big influence on me.
Yeah.
Because I discovered Bill Hicks in college in the early 90s through Tool, the band. And someone showed me, I was listening to Tool, and someone goes, this comic Bill Hicks is on the cover. And I was like, holy shit. And then I discovered him. And, that's where I got my love of like political comedy.
Or even the way he makes fun of death or cancer, right?
Yeah. I always say the best specials you'll ever see is when a comic knows he's about to literally die, like literally, and he has no fear of like the repercussions of anything. George Carlin, Bill Hicks.
You just gave me an idea, man. You just gave me an idea to write as if I'm gonna die in 2 days, bro.
Yeah, just be like, I don't care.
Use that. I'm gonna try to use that.
Yeah,
that's really good. That's a good insight, bro.
They always are
went like boom.
They have no filter because they have no reason to worry about repercussions because they're no longer going to be around. So who cares?
Okay, listen. As edgy as you are, bro, I want to ask you something because. When I was a younger comedian, I did use the N-word when I was younger.
Yeah.
As society changed, I believe society changed. It just became it became a word that I couldn't find a way to make it fun anymore.
Yeah.
Because I started in black clubs.
Yeah.
And I would
did
do
too.
I would do it in black clubs. and people would laugh. You know what I mean? Because the way in the context that it was used. But now, bro, it's to me, it's for me personally. I can't even like make it work for me. You do. You know, and the reason I ask you, you know why I'm asking you, because a few months back, maybe 6 months ago, 5 months ago, you used it, and somebody in the audience, it was like a small workout room, small workout room. You know, I like that room to work out.
I love the haha.
Yeah. And
I love it.
And and there was a guy in there who rushed the stage. Man.
Yeah.
And, okay. How do you feel? What's your take on the N-word, bro? You know.
Well, so my honest belief is the N-word is a giant psyop to get us all to fight with each other, and it was kind of pushed on us through gangster rap, and it was convincing people to call themselves this word that was.
You know, it's funny you said. I use the N-word a lot because of listening to NWA.
No, it's black culture. We've all consumed it. We love it. Listen. I do a joke about how, you know, I don't call people certain words. Obviously, I don't call, you know, black people the M word, mentally special needs the R words, women the C word, or the joke is I don't call women the C word unless they're being one, right? And then the last one is I don't call gay people the F word. I just don't do it because it upsets them. But you know, the truth is, I love being called the M-word, and I talk about it in my state. There's been a bunch of times where I've been called the M-word, and they're really funny stories. Yeah. Paul Mooney called me the M-word, and this paraplegic that looked like Vanilla Ice in Arizona dropped the M-bomb on me, and it was the most hilarious thing. So my whole thing is like, I feel that you should be able to talk about anything, and it's this weird psyop, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I think black comics use the N-word as a cheap laugh in front of white crowds, and it annoys the fuck out of me because I would like a cheap laugh too. And you know, we got this word where certain people use it as like, hey dude or bro, and then the other ones it's like burning a cross, and it's so ridiculous because we've consumed so much black culture. Yeah. That it's like, you know, like there are heroes, dude, and like most people want to use it in the way. I remember I produced Tony Rock's special, his first special, and it was one out of the Laugh Factory, and I remember watching him and like just like the way he used it was so cool. I couldn't stop wanting to say it that night in the sense that he wanted to. So I think it's actually a sign that black culture has become completely mainstream. I understand that like a white person calling it in a black person in a derogatory way can upset black people. And I don't want to upset black people. I love black people. But really the word needs to die because it's used as a tool to divide and conquer. It needs that. Like I get called, if you want to beat this out, but I get called all the time. I get called every word in the fucking book, and I laugh at it. That's how you take it back. But you're not taking it back. You're like, you've been conditioned. They've been conditioned to like protect this word like it's some kind of fucking special thing that they've convinced themselves that only they get to say. And it's just a dumb thing that that is being used to divide and conquer. So I think the best way to kill anything off is to just have white people say it. When old white guys say it, it fucking kills the word off. I understand that there's a history of it, but it doesn't make any sense if you see how it's used in the context that it is now. And the best way to because we're in a real class war right now, and like I don't know if you saw, I don't want to get too political here, but you know, if you saw like when they tried to tell states that if they didn't like kowtow to Israel, they wouldn't get FEMA funding, and there was this giant backlash to it, and they backed off. Because everyone came together go, that's fucking ridiculous that we got to kowtow to this foreign country and we can't get our own aid that we pay taxes for. So that shows you we have all the power. But when we're fighting over these stupid little things on this level, it should be us versus this.
Do you think that's a distraction?
100%.
So you think that whole battle of, oh man, the N-word is this, the N-word is that, that's part of distraction of what you're talking about?
Which is an economic battle.
Okay.
Right? Like, we're all on the same level here. We should be working together to understand these guys are just effing us, dude. But we can't do that because we're fighting in between with each other. And if you study, like, there's so much social chaos going on, and they've engineered it specifically to groups. So the first one was BLM, right? That got black people upset, and it was all done through Obama phones and all that shit. Then it was January 6th, that was white people. Then there was Asian hate, that was Asian people. And then they just had No Kings, which was geared towards Latinos. Now, the thing that I found amazing about that was that there were giant neighborhoods in LA where the gang leaders told everybody, you can't go to this shit because Latinos go to fucking tinfoil hat comedy nights. I'm not saying that's why they did it, but they're into conspiracies. Yeah. They really love conspiracies, and they saw what was happening, which was the Walmart heir was funding this social chaos. And they're like, don't show up, don't show up. So if you actually watch the videos of the No Kings, it's mostly photographers.
Really?
Yeah, there's not a lot of chaos going. It was a giant dud because everyone was waking up to what's going on. So they're social engineering us to fight with each other.
Right. Well, look. I hate that because I know you're considered, and some cats that think like you, it's called you're labeled conspiracy theorist, but I believe it's been given a negative connotation to people that want to think.
Yes.
Like just because
to scare them.
Just because you question something, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. And I really, the label to me is an easy like cop out.
Yes.
For people not to listen to anyone that has an idea that doesn't go mainstream.
Right.
So just because you don't have a mainstream idea, they come up with the word conspiracy theorists, and mainstream almost wants to buffoon conspiracy
100%.
theorists, like almost like make them like a joke. Whereas, and then where years ago, you heard that drugs in the inner city were given by the government, right? The
CIA,
with cocaine, and honestly, I was one of them. I was one of them who thought, that's a bunch of bullshit. That's a bunch of bullshit, man. This is sure that the government. No, this is these people from the hood want to make money, and they're fucking hustlers, man. It has nothing to do with the government. And then a couple decades later, it comes out a CIA agent, Fabian. I don't know if you've seen this cat. Have you seen that one?
Oh yeah, the guy with the curly hair.
It's a CIA agent, and you've checked it out. And this guy really tells you. He shows the blueprint of how they did it, and it was to control the neighborhoods. It's to keep them down,
and to fund black operations from the CIA. 100%, dude.
Well, now there's like Netflix shows about it. You know what I mean? Like, have you seen Snowfall?
So we have this fentanyl problem right now, and they want to convince you that it's the Chinese, and it's not. It's the same people. It's the CIA. They're funding. That's how they're funding all their black operations. Is they're the one. Listen, the people who control the borders allow this stuff in because they're all making money off it. So it's the exact same thing. And what's really funny about it tends to be the progressive left, which is like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. But you think about what they believe. They believe in institutional racism. They believe in homophobia. They believe in sexism and women getting like that. That is a conspiracy. You believe that there are people conspiring to hold you down. That is literally a conspiracy. So they're the real conspiracy theorists because they can't actually prove what they're doing. Most of the conspiracies I talk about, there's a paper trail you could tell. So it's very interesting how they mock conspiracy theorists when their whole identity is based on a conspiracy.
Well, here it is, man. I as I get again, man, as I get older, I see that the left and the right are kind of like it's the same bullshit.
Yeah.
Just different channels, just different ways of going about having the same objective. You know.
Yeah.
So and who I really think it's the rich, and I don't know if there's I don't know. Do you? What's your belief that there's like 7 or 8 families that
13.
run that?
All right, there's the 13 families, right?
That run the whole show.
That's why they don't have the 13 number on the elevators, all that shit.
13 families that worship fallen angels, bro. That's like, dude, I say this all the time. The world is ran by sorcerers. And that's why you see a lot of people getting into politics, but they never get in the spirituality side of it, and it's all spiritual warfare, dude. That's really what's out.
So
either you're getting closer to God or you're getting farther from God. And the farther away you get from God, the more your anxiety goes up, your depression goes up, your anger goes up. The closer your free will gets aligned with God's will. And I know it's a really weird thing, and dude, I've practiced free will probably more than most.
So you believe in God?
Yeah, 100%.
You believe that there's a higher power?
Yeah.
Okay.
What it looks like, I don't know.
Okay.
But it could be. But there is a grand designer, the one above all. Yeah, 100%.
When did you get here? When did you get to? Because I don't see. I mean, a few years back, or how long?
Yeah, I would say I've always had a belief in a higher power. I would say my foundation has been laid in the last 5 years, and it comes from I had two people on my podcast, Tinfoil Hat. One was named Matt LaCroix. Matt LaCroix is really into ancient archaeology, ancient like what's it called? Archaeology? I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say, but these old pyramids all over the place. I'm sorry, I'm a retard, but
yeah, it's archaeology.
These architect sites, you know, and he's talking about how they're changing our timeline, dude. And what they represent, which is Anunnakis and all this stuff.
What do you mean by changing our time? Like, I don't
so
understand
like some people think mankind has only been around for what, 10,000 years, 100,000 years. These sites are putting us to 100,000 years, 200,000 years, like much older. Like, so he's talking about all this stuff. And then, like a week later, 2 weeks later, I have this Buddhist author called Von Galt on. She kind of changed my life. And
a Buddhist author.
Yeah, Buddhist author.
It's funny, right? I really got into. I only know his first name, and you probably know of him. The Buddhist monk, the Vietnamese that went to France. His name's Thich.
No, I haven't heard of him.
Thich.
No, I've never heard of him.
Okay, man. But I just recently got into this Buddhist monk. And he's just blowing my mind, man. You know, I
see. There's some people I think it's only one thought and only one belief, and I think it's all of them. I think they're all telling the same story. Just it's like let's say we're all on a corner, right? And there's a car crash. We're all gonna say what we saw, and it's probably not the same thing. We all have our version of this car crash and how it went down. It's not gonna be the exact same. So that's why I think religion is. And so anyways, Von Galt comes on.
Yeah, tell me about this.
Von Galt comes on.
Is he the
she? Yeah, she.
And she's would she be considered a Buddhist?
Yeah, she's a Buddhist and she's an author. She's a Buddhist author.
Are there such thing as monks that are women?
No, she wasn't. I shouldn't have said monk. I'm sorry, but she's a Buddhist author. That's why I meant.
Okay.
She's real, and she came on and she was saying the exact same thing. This guy was talking about all these archaeology sites. She's saying the exact same thing, but from a Buddhist perspective, and they were totally lining up. And I'm like, okay, there's something here. There's something here. So, you know, I used to I used to do a ton of drugs, dog. I was a cokehead. I always have a joke. I came to LA an alcoholic. I fucking discovered coke, and then crystal meth cured me of my coke problem, right? So I had kids with this woman. I tried to make it work. It wasn't working. And I go out on a run, and she's calling me, and I'm like still fucking on a run. And I go home, and I have to take care of my kids on a run, dude. And it was like I never felt lower. And I talked to these guys in recovery. They're like, just ask God for 24 hours. And I did it. And I started getting 24 hours. And I just started like looking into not religion, but spirituality.
All right.
And I just started practicing these things that I was learning, and my life calmed down, dude.
You found peace.
I found peace. And I just find like the closer you get to source, whatever you want to call it, your life calms down. If you study people who are like super progressive into all this cultural Marxist stuff, your barista at Starbucks with the purple hair, then none of them look happy.
Yeah.
They all look miserable because they're trying to live a life that isn't their path. And I'll never. My connection with God will never be me telling people how to live their life. God gave us free will. Do what you want. And someone came on the show the other day. It's like, Can you align your free will with God's plan? And that's where it tends to get closer. So that's what helps me live a happy. You know, I'm in the conspiracy world. They're always telling me Jesus wasn't real and all this stuff. And I go, I don't know what it is. I don't know if we're supposed to know what it is. But I know when I do certain things, I'm a lot happier.
All right. No, I agree, man. This week it's on at Bodega and Tres Vinos, the heart of Covina, where you can dine, drink, and dance all under one roof. Downstairs at Bodega, it's Wicked Wednesdays. Drink martinis, whiskey specials all night, plus some amazing wings, some empanadas. It's party on. Then we go on to Throwback Thursdays, tequila, tacos, and old school jams. Freaky Fridays, live band downstairs, DJ upstairs, 2 floors, one wild night, full bar, and the kitchen opens late. Sexy Saturdays, party keeps going with live DJs, bottle service, and VIP vibes upstairs at Tres Vinos. And don't forget, Sunday Fun Day. Daytime DJs, chill energy, drink specials, and all your favorite dishes. Say Willie Barcena sent you for a little something extra. I mean, listen, I battle. I have a constant battle with trying to live a clean life.
Yeah, it's hard.
Because listen, man, I'll go like you like jujitsu, I like jujitsu. We do it. I think at our age, bro, we do it like the same reason somebody does yoga.
Yeah.
You know, when I was younger, I was like, I want to be like a Gracie.
Yeah.
You know, you get older, bro. He's like, hey, I just want to get some good cardio.
I just want to lose my tits.
Yeah. I just want to be in shape.
Yeah.
But I do battle, man, with being aligned. And when I'm unaligned is if I start, because I still drink. You know, I still drink.
Yeah.
But when it goes overboard, when it goes to the point where I'm like just getting hammered, you know, and then I don't really want to be here.
Yeah.
Like there's a part of me that wants to escape.
Yeah.
And that's when I get unaligned.
Yes.
And I lose focus.
Yes.
And so, yeah, going back to what you said is I think there's the constant battle is with myself, man.
Well, dude, 100%. And that's why most people want to quit drugs and quit drinking and they can't, because they start feeling emotions and it gets too much for them. So they want to numb themselves out, you know. And I was there. I just couldn't get sober. And then I just realized I had to do no matter what. And like I told you guys earlier, I'm like 37 days off pornography. And I've been looking at porn since I was 5 years old. I'm 52
37
years
days
old.
without porn?
Dude, every day if you have a sex addiction, every day off of porn is like winning the Super Bowl.
Why is that?
Because sex addiction.
You know what, dude? My girlfriend listens to this, bro. She's not my girlfriend because we broke up and I'm trying to get her back. We're on
probation
for 4 months.
Week 9.
week 12. I don't know what the hell, bro. But we talked about porn and that's one of the things she brought up is like, do you watch porn? I said, yeah, I do. And she goes, it's not healthy. You know, to me,
it's like, crazy.
Okay, so tell me,
porn is an occult humiliation ritual of the girls that are in it. They're basically humiliating themselves for our pleasure, and they don't even know what they're doing. They're like, so you want to get into some CIA shit?
So who's doing this to these?
The porn producers and the girls doing it because. So much is like, they're like, I'm the filthiest girl on the internet. And it's really just like, I'm just doing these humiliating things. I'm willing to do it for this fucking money. Like, OnlyFans is a CIA psyop to convince normal chicks to get into pornography. And then if you go on YouTube, dude, and there's just some guys who have time on their hands. So they'll put like a compilation of all the adult film stars that died. And you look at it, I'd say 70 to 80% of the girls that die are either suicide, murder, or drug overdose.
Damn.
So it's a low vibrational thing. I'm sorry if this is too serious.
No, I don't bro. I don't give a fuck. Hey, okay, this percentage, is this something that you're just guessing or you read?
No,
this?
like because I'm scrolling through YouTube and it's like dead porn stars. I'm like, what? Because I have a joke about how like every day I went on Pornhub, there's new pornos. I'll never catch up, right? Like I'm still jerking off to porn from 2008. Like most of the girls I jerk off to are dead, right? And then you see that thing, and you go there and you just start seeing how many of these girls you know. And you're amazed at how many you know. And then they list how they died. And it's like murder, suicide. Like I had a really good friend of mine that was in the adult. I have adult film friends. I have friends of mine who do porn. They're nice people. Did you
perform? Did you ever do that thing they do in Vegas?
I used to do the Naughty Show where... So when I started comedy, everybody wanted to be Jerry Seinfeld. They want observational, clean comedy.
Right.
And I'm just not that. I'm my father's son.
Bro. I tried.
No, you did.
Dude.
I did the late show twice. That was the only late night stuff. They had me back twice. I did really well, but it's like I can't do the Comedy Magic Club because even my clean stuff is like super edgy.
Right.
So. Kudos to you for I wish I could have done that. It's just not my style.
No, when I was a young comic, I was again, man. I was torn. I wanted to be a clean comic, and then that wasn't my spirit. That's not how I grew up. I grew up, people cussing, my mom beating me up in the neighborhood, people dying.
Yeah.
So that was my reality. So when I was doing, I tried, man.
But when we started. They didn't want that. We were still a lot more conservative back then, even if it was the 90s. Mm-hmm. Or I think you started in, 89?
No, I started in 90.
Yeah, 90. So I started in 94. And at 22 years old, and they wanted Seinfeld. I'm also convinced Seinfeld's a psyop, but that's a different story. Yeah, because Seinfeld kind of kneecapped Andrew Dice Clay and Sam Kinison and that whole movement. Like comedy was getting raw and real, and then all of a sudden Seinfeld comes, and now the industry's like, we want these guys for sitcoms. These are the only people we want for sitcoms. And then everybody started chasing that, and it all became this observational clean stuff. And I think it hurt comedy for a long time, and it wasn't. And everyone could think I'm crazy, but it wasn't until Joe Rogan and Brian Redband and the obviously you had Stern. We can get into that, and Opie and Anthony. They were doing it, but they were still on corporate channels. But Death Squad was the first time that there were people creating art for themselves. And not for a corporation, and not like, oh, I'm going to do this to get a sitcom. They were doing this because this is what I thought was funny, right?
Right.
So, I always was a dirty comic because I always was like, I'm just going to be me on stage. And I think that's what's really good right now, what's really in, but authenticity. But so I started it, and I would go up to Comedy Store, and I would either get a standing O or I'd get booed off stage.
All right.
Because it either caught the crowd that loved it or they hated you. So I got asked to do the Vivid Video Comedy Tour, and I remember I was running late, and they're like, dude, we got to put Bert Kreischer up. You're going to have to follow him. And I'd been at the Comedy Store following Joe Rogan. Andrew Dice Clay, and I love Andrew Dice Clay, bumped me every set I had for a year. He'd bump me and do an hour. Oh, and I had to follow that motherfucker. And so I could
close. You had to close.
Well,
somebody does an hour, man.
Well,
the store doesn't close until everybody gets on.
Yeah,
right?
until it's done and there's nobody left.
Yeah.
So they would go up right before Dice would find my set and go up before me, and that's fine, dude.
And what was that? What was the reason behind that? Was there something personal?
I don't know. I mean, like Dice and I got at it one time.
Oh, really?
But now we're really cool. Like
we a lot of things from our past, bro.
Watching Dice do the nursery rhymes in the OR on the New Year's was like one of the greatest nights of my life. Like it was because I grew up on that, dude. I used to love watching him when I grew up in upstate New York. So I was a hothead, dude. Like I had a way too pure view of comedy. I used to think comedy was like this fucking precious thing. It's this precious art. We got to protect it at all costs. And it's really just a whore, dude. I mean, I hate to say it because I love it, but it's really a whore.
Yeah, like especially right now with all the comedians doing the crowd work.
Yeah, we're in, and I don't hate them, but we're in our wedding singer phase of comedy right now. Yeah. Everyone's just doing wedding singer shit. Yeah. Hey, do the chicken dance, dog, And it's just like it's wedding singer shit. Yeah. And that's fine because that's what people want. God bless you. You got a following. I love it, but I grew up that the best form of comedy was storytelling. Being able to tell a fucking great story, even if it's a short story, it's still a great story. But so I just me and the industry never got along from the fucking jump. I mean, the first show I ever produced in LA was called "Fuck the Industry," right?
Oh, wow.
You know, like I would shoot myself in the foot right out the gate because I'm my father's son, and we, like, if we were on the level, we're cool. Up here, like, I'm just fucking, you know. So I get asked to do this Vivid show. I have to follow Burt Kreischer. He's crushing. I go up there and I just annihilate. And I remember thinking, like, before, it's like, how do I find my crowd? How do I find? Oh, I'm just gonna. This porn comedy is great. And then so they stopped doing the Vivid show, but I'm like, I got to keep this crowd. So I created this show called The Naughty Show. And
where'd you do this? Was it in the OR?
Well, what's really funny is it started out. This is the beginning of the end of Comedy Central.
Okay.
Because they came up with something called a pitch pilot, where they would give you only $5,000, and they wanted you to put on a whole show to show them what your show was. It was a way to get a pilot without paying for it. So they had this tiny theater that they did on Santa Monica, and they gave me a show, do a pitch pilot. And my girlfriend Dana is like one of the greatest video producers of all time. She was producing huge videos at the time. And she was like, I'll help you with this. So we put together this show called The Naughty Show. It was me, and I kind of, there's other stuff going on, but it was the first time they'd ever sold out the show. And there were comics who are like theater comics now that were just started. They all brought them there to see how the show went, right? And this one comic, I'm not going to say their name, came to my show. And my manager was telling, because he knew his manager, he wouldn't leave his house for a week because he didn't think he could do anything funnier than what he saw that night. So the night I do the show, they're like, we love it. My manager gets feedback. They love the show. Literally what they said was, we love the show. We hate Sam. We hate Sam. And I know why they did it, because now I realize I did some stuff. I shot myself in the foot. But anyways, so I started doing dirty comedy. So I'm like, I'm not going to end the show. I'm going to do it myself. So I started doing dirty comedy, this dirty comedy show when everyone else was trying to do fucking Jerry Seinfeld. And so I brought on porn stars because I knew the people who would hate porn stars would hate my act too. So they wouldn't come to the show.
Right.
And so one of the first shows we did was with Belladonna. Do you guys remember Belladonna?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
somewhere she quit porn, and somewhere out there, Belladonna is acting like she doesn't have superpowers. Like someone's going to a PTA meeting, going, "Where do I know this chick with her fucking space?" So we do a show. This is crazy. I remember Moshe Kasher, the great comic, was there, and she goes up, she starts doing pole work, and then, dude, she takes this 10-inch black dong and just. Boom! Deep throats, the whole thing on stage. The whole crowd, it's silence.
Oh, shit.
And then she gets done and she gets a standing out. So now you look, now all of a sudden everybody's doing dirty comedy. So, you know, it was just a different time in comedy. And like, I've always just wanted to just do it my way, which is always the worst way to go. But in the end, it paid out. So like, when I look at you, you started early like me, and we were just blessed to hold on long enough to this game that we could do our own shows and do our own thing and meet our own fans and create this thing that's kind of like cooking with gas right now. Like that is the blessing of it. But going back to like the trauma and all that shit, it's like, and the dirty comedy, it's like, we're in an age of authenticity, dude.
Right.
Like people, there's so much phony shit out there that people are desperate for something real. Yeah. So when you go up there and you share your pain, you share your suffering, you share all that, that resonates with people. Like I always say, the last great family TV show was Breaking Bad. Because everyone relates to Breaking Bad. Your dad's a fuck up. He's a drug dealer. Your mom's fucking everybody in the neighborhood. Your brother's retarded. You know, like everyone relates to that.
Yeah.
That's what people want now.
But let me ask you, as you've gotten older, you've been around, you're more seasoned. When you're young, it's easy to put a label to it and say, "Okay, I'm a dirty comic." But now, a guy that's been around, don't you see it as when you're young, you just kind of want to go against the grain, like fuck you, I'm gonna do it my way. But now, don't you see yourself like blending in a lot of the maybe jokes that you wrote when you were younger that were a little mainstream, but they can fit into some of your jokes that that are edgier. Like there's a mix now. It's not just like, hey, you know what? Fuck you, I'm raw. It's more like a blend.
Yeah, well,
or because that's the reason I say that, because that's what's I feel happened to me as I'm getting older.
Well, again, I think your act has to grow. If I go up there, like I just did a show in Arizona, and my feature was a very good-looking guy from Canada. And he, you know, I remember being that guy. Not that I was a handsome man, but when I was younger, I was much better looking, right? And he did 10 minutes on stinky pussy. And even the girls are going nuts, right? You know? They're like, oh, yeah. And then I just mentioned the word pussy, and they all shut down. So, like, again, if your act doesn't change, and that's why I'm, like, excited to watch, like, Dane Cook and what's going on with him right now, because he just got married. And it's just like, you can't do that pop comedy as you get older.
Yeah.
They just don't want that from you. They'll take it from young guys because young guys haven't lived any life. They don't know anything. It's all just getting laid and all that shit.
Right.
That's what their audience wants to see. The young people want to see that stuff. But when people come to see me, they're older. So they want to hear more real life shit, right?
Like, no, it makes
so
sense.
that's why your act, the surest way to fade to black is to not have your act adapt.
Right.
To your age and talk about what's going on. You constantly, like I tell young comedians, every day ask yourself, what is the funny thing that happened to you that day?
Right.
Is there a joke in it? Take what Bill Hicks said, which was to take something and put it under the light of common sense.
Right.
And then find that what's funny in that. Why doesn't that make sense? And that's your joke. And that's kind of what you do, dude. So like, I try to every day, like, like anything that happens to me, what's the funny in that? What's the funny in that? What's the funny in that? And then if one of them sticks, I'll write it in my head, because I do write some jokes, and I find that, like, I've been being better at it, but I just can't stop talking to myself all day, so I just work a bit.
That's a good problem to have, I think, as a comedian, a person that talks to themselves all the time. I mean, you might see it as hey, man, I'm running 60, just 100 miles an hour in my brain. But I think for a comedian and you, that you can actually, because right now you're saying, hey, I asked myself this, and you got all these thoughts running through your head. I think it actually, it actually works for you, because there's a lot of guys that I bet you are bored with themselves. And you probably find it hard to be bored because your brain is constantly fucking. You can't turn it off.
It's just, if you see me driving, you'll see me going. Because I'm just talking to myself. But going back to something you brought up about, like, am I trying to push it or not? So I grew up in upstate New York in the 70s and 80s. I left my mother at 8. My mother and my father at 18.
What part of upstate New York? Syracuse?
Just outside Syracuse.
Okay.
Cortland, New York, 607. I got a tat. I think it's right here. It's either right. Nope, that's the Armenian LA. I got a tat right there, 607.
What's that one road that goes all the way from New York City all the way to Buffalo? That one freeway?
Oh, it's the
It's the 80?
It's the 81.
81, yeah. It's pretty good, huh?
Take it, yeah, good job on that. That reminds me of Brody Stevens. Well, high school you go, fucking mountain cats, right? But I grew up watching. I'm an old school guy. If you watch a really great movie about if you ever want to watch a great movie about stand up, it should have been way bigger. It's called Dying Laughing.
Who's in it? What's it about?
Like Chris Rock, Sarah Silverman, Jerry Seinfeld. It should have been so much bigger. It just, the way it got distributed, it just didn't connect, dude. And it sucks because as a comic, you watch it, it emotionally affects you. It's about just all this chaos that is in comedy that people never see. I'm glad you brought that up, because there is a lot of things in comedy that people don't get to see. Because look, man, yes, it's fun telling jokes. It's fun when the audience loves you. But there's some stuff, and not to say, and the reason comics, we're not pussies, because there is some stuff that we're like, fuck, man, this is painful. Well, it's like Jordan used to say, like, the only time he's happy was on the court. Like, the stage itself is the best time.
Yeah.
The minute you walk off the stage, it's like, am I going to get paid? Want to get paid? How many people bought tickets? Are they going to tell me the correct number of tickets? Am I selling enough tickets? Am I promoting enough? All the business stuff. And that's most people's life. Like, they go to work. Dude, am I making sales? Am I doing this? Am I getting along with my boss? Yeah, so it's life. It is really hard. you know. But Chris Rock in that special talked about how he doesn't want laughs the whole time.
Okay.
He wants laughs with a boo, with a oh, with a laugh, and like that's kind of like my whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
I like to talk about things that I find hypocritical in the world, and I like the press, man. And it's like I got that from watching Patrick Ewing and the Georgetown Hoyas back in the '80s when I'm from Syracuse, which is Orange Men country, but I used to love Patrick Ewing, and I used to love to watch him run into the arena and get booed. I don't know, that always like was so like when I would go on stage, like I used to like to dig myself into a hole and then see if I could climb myself out, and it was like the worst way to do comedy. I look back, I'm like, what a dumb fuck, but it's like what I enjoyed. I would start off, they would be staring at me, and then I would get a standing O at the end of the show. Like Brett Ernst says, he's the only guy I've ever seen where one show I'm getting a standing O, and then the next show I'm getting booed off stage. But I've always felt like, you know, that comedians are the last line of free speech and the last line, you know, we're the jesters, dude. The jesters used to be the only one who could tell the king the truth. And this whole movement now that comedy's getting too political, it's so stupid. The reason you're seeing that is because political comedy is popular right now because people don't trust the media or trust the newspapers. So they're looking for someone to tell them the truth. The truth of the matter is that comedy is more diverse than ever. There's more comics selling arenas out, selling out theaters that have a whole range of like fans. So like we said earlier, wedding singer comedy is very big right now, okay? Yeah. Dude, 20 years ago when we started, all these guys would be doing corporate gigs or on a fucking cruise ship. Yeah. But now they can go into a real comedy club, a real theater, a real arena, and fucking make great money. They're not regulated to these kind of like side gigs that weren't available to them because their shit was so corny, dude.
No, I was always in trouble, man. With rest in peace, and I have nothing but gratitude for Bud Friedman, because he's one of the few guys. I could, you know, in three fingers, the people that would like look after me, but Bud was kind of old school guy, and he wanted things a certain way.
Yeah, I get it.
And did you ever work for Bud?
I did some shows over there. The craziest person to me was Dan Murr at the Tempe Improv, and he would just have this notorious reputation. But for some reason, he loved me, dude, and he always showed me kindness. And I go, "What is going on here? Why is this guy so nice to me?" Probably wanted to do blow with me, but you know, he was always really nice to me, dude.
Yeah, no, but going back, it's Bud would always like. Call me, or I go to his office, and I felt like I was talking to the principal, because he would say, "Willie, they would give reports. The improvs would give reports about the comedian."
Yeah, you go in the back going, "What are you writing? What are you writing down? Did I do okay? Did I do good?"
I was always in trouble, man.
Yeah, me too,
always
dude.
in trouble, bro. And and again, man, it was different times. The comedians now get away with murder, and because I believe because of social media.
Yeah, 100%.
This wasn't around.
Yeah,
no, you know, this wasn't around.
There's less gatekeepers too. Back, you know, it's really funny. I did a Funny Bone in Toledo, Ohio, and there was this guy, I forget the name of the manager, but what people don't realize is like we'll go into a comedy club in the middle of nowhere, and the GM thinks he runs entertainment, and there's a lot of great GMs out there. I'm not saying anything negative, but once in a while you'll catch a GM that thinks they're more important than they are. And they just came from like fucking TGI Fridays. They're running like TGI Fridays, and now they're running a comedy club, and they think they run entertainment. Yeah. So I remember I did Toledo, and it was one of the first times I went on the road, and I had a great weekend. I enjoyed it, but my manager goes, "Yeah, the feedback, I gotta be honest with you, wasn't great." They go, and this is what he told me. He goes, "The audience loved you, the staff loved you, but the mystery shopper hated you." And I go, "Who the fuck is a mystery shopper?" "Oh, these are people they give free tickets to if they agree to fucking rate the show." Well, this guy loved the feature. And the feature got busted stealing bits from everybody. He was the biggest pain. I had to fucking put him in his place during the weekend because he was shit talking the dude. After the show, we get done. This guy would set up his shirts in front of my shit.
And you're the headliner.
And I'm the headliner. And then if people did, he would
Can't
yell
believe
at
that
them.
shit, Robert.
He would go.
I used to do that long time
If you're
ago.
not buying anything, keep walking. I go, hold on, dog. He would yell at the crowd. If you're not buying anything, keep walking. I go, hey, dog.
He would say that?
Yeah, he said that. I go,
Whoa,
hey,
are
dude.
you serious?
I go, this isn't your crowd. This is my crowd. They've come to see me. They didn't come to see you. Don't talk to them that way. Well, it turns out Steve Trevino caught him stealing, which is hilarious that Steve Trevino would call out anybody for stealing jokes.
Hey, bro, these are the ones that get sold in front of my.
That shit's fire, dude. That shit's fire.
Dude, those are free now, dog.
We're just giving them away.
We're just giving it away, dude.
There's some comedian that would put his t-shirts
Hey, bro.
in front of mine.
Hey, dude. No, back in the day, remember I used to sell shirts on shit? But you had no shirts.
Well, back in the
dude.
day, you sold CDs, but you can't sell CDs now. They only think people want T-shirts.
And then it was flashcards for a while.
Yeah, you're like, oh, buy this, and they're like, I don't know what the fuck this is. But yeah, he got so. I would have weird I would play some clubs and they'd love me, and some clubs it was too much for them. And now, what I'll say about the young comedians is I think a lot of them are really good writers, but they're not great entertainers like us. We are much better entertainers than these young guys. I think they've been traumatized by cancel culture. They don't want to take chances. Like so many of these guys that walk on stage, I can tell you what their act's going to be before they even say a word because everything is cookie cutter. They're great writers.
What about the ones? And there's a few of them now that their whole act is using the audience.
They do like a
What's your
Q&A
vibe on that?
and the dating, bring up the girl and the
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. I mean, it's wedding singer shit. That's what we're talking. It's all.
Yeah.
Listen, Ian Bagg has been a crowd work guy forever, but that guy's another level of that shit. Like he was always great at that. But a lot of these guys, they just don't want. They have no faith in their jokes. Yeah. So the easiest thing is just to be like, "Hey, what you do?" Now I'm great at crowd work. I put out a couple crowd work specials just because there seems to be a market for that.
Yeah, there is a market for that. There
nothing's
really is.
better than dude to write a joke and then present it to a crowd and get a burst of laugh. Listen, there's nothing better than killing. Dude, I've done crazy shit with chicks in bed. Nothing touches fucking crushing a room full of strangers, dude. With a fucking bit you wrote. Bang, bang, write down, boom, 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 work it out, bang, present it, boom, and you're like, oh man, that's why we have crippling drug and drinking problems, because we get these super highs and then the show's done and we're back in the hotel room all by ourselves and it's quiet and it's just like, where's all the fun? Where's everybody that loves us?
That's why we got to get grounded. Like going back to what you said about the Buddhist lady who was sharing knowledge.
Yes.
That's I think comedians need some type of thing, whether it's Buddhism, whether it's Christianity, whatever it is, you need something, and I know I do, to keep me level, man. Or else I will go without knowing, man. I start getting depressed, and before I know it, fucking 2 months went by. I'm like, and I was slowly going like this, but you don't see it when it's like this, And all of a sudden you're like, oh, what the fuck? I just put on.
You create your own
20
reality.
pounds.
Like I'm still drinking. It's 7 o'clock in the morning.
Eating like shit
How
on the
fuck
road,
did
dude.
this happen?
Yeah, dude. It's like everything everyone hates about God is created by a man that did some bullshit. And then they go, well, God, why did God allow that to happen? Well, God gave us free will, dude. That was the whole thing. They gave us free will, and how you choose to use your free will. And these guys of the cloth and of these religions all work for darkness. But you associate that with God, and that's not what's happening. But you're seeing a resurgence in spirituality because we tried the other way. We tried the Marxist, communist, atheist kind of way, and everyone became miserable. And now they realize that's a better way. It's just, dude, I've done everything 1,000 times. I've done shit where I was doing it. I was like, oh, if my mom knew I literally would think, oh, if my mom knew I was doing this, she'd be so sad. And I was just like, I was miserable. because I was running from something. And now it's like, I'm not saying my life's perfect. I'm going through chaos right now.
I think nobody is, bro.
Yeah.
To say the word perfect, I think that's.
I don't think you'll ever. If you had the perfect life, you would seek chaos.
Yeah. I think perfection is in the fact that there is chaos in there. That's a perfect journey.
Yeah.
The perfect journey to have chaos, love, betrayal, you know what I mean? Kindness. It's all a perfect setting of a life.
Yeah, I always say
think
recovery.
that's what perfect is. Yeah.
It's like life's really good today. Talk to me in 24 hours. I'll probably be on suicide watch because I think this is life. And like, it's like how you deal with this determines how quickly it goes up with that. Yeah. And if you ignore this, it just keeps going like that. You kind of got to be the first responder to your own problems.
Hey, can I? I'll share this with you, bro. So I went to a meeting, right? AA meeting, and this is why I feel like such a piece of shit, bro. I don't know if it's because I'm a homophobic or what, but do you know, like at the end of the meeting, everybody holds hands and they say a prayer.
Yeah.
But I didn't know these two dudes, and I felt really weird holding dudes' hands that I don't know, and I kept my hands like this. But everybody in the meeting, without saying it, could tell that I was the dick. And then one guy goes, "It's okay, don't worry about it. Let's pray." And I felt like an asshole. We're like that, and then the meeting broke, and I could feel it that they were all like, "Fuck it, there's that piece of shit doesn't like holding people's hands."
I guarantee you, nobody thought that.
No,
I
felt like a piece of shit. I couldn't hold, bro.
One of the greatest things I've ever learned in recovery is that nobody's thinking of me. I used to think that there were people conspiring to hold me back because I was so fucking funny. They fucking hated me, and then I learned, dude. Nobody's thinking about me, dude. Great. Okay, this is a great example.
So I'll just hold their hands next time, huh?
Or, you know what I do? Sometimes no, just grab their shoulders, dude.
Yeah.
Just grab their shoulders.
Right.
Like you're in a football
I feel a
huddle.
little fucking. I'm already socially awkward as it is, bro.
Dude,
She's holding some vato's hands like that. Like, ah!
I have crippling social anxiety, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy that I make my living in a social environment. Dude, I've gone to birthday parties, walked in, said, "Hey, happy birthday," and walked right out, dude. Like, that's who I am, dude. Like, I have crippling. That's why I love Coke. I was a bad drunk. I would always get angry because I had all this shit bent up. But when I discovered cocaine, I became Motley Crue in that fucking Girls video.
And you didn't feel like drinking? Like, when you do Coke?
No, dude, this is how crazy I was. I was like, I'm not going to drink. I'm just going to do blow, right? Right?
But
I'd be sober in Hollywood and go to Pasadena and do Coke.
But doesn't blow make you more, like, anxious, though?
Not me, dude. Not me, dude.
Everybody's wired different.
I just was like, I'm a go fast guy.
It's like people who drink, right? The loving drunk and the one who wants to fight, right?
That was the asshole because I had so much just built up frustration and everything because my parents are great. I love my parents. I'm blessed to have them as parents, but they gave me awful advice. And then later on, I just learned that they
did the best that they could with the information they had at the time.
I look at my father as a warning. Like, I remember I was in recovery, and I go, "Oh, I'm becoming my dad." My dad never could work with anybody, ever. If you were on his level, he was cool. If you were above, he'd go to war with you, and it just fucked up his entire life. But I go, my dad's life was an example for me on what not to do. And I just changed my life. But I'm crippling social anxiety, dude. Dude. But that's why I would numb out. But then I just started shooting myself. Like, my career wasn't going well, so I did blow. And because I was doing blow, my career didn't go well. Then because my career wasn't going well, I keep doing blow. And it's just like I was at the Comedy Store during the golden era. We were such kings, even though it was awful. You just go there at night. There'd be Coke everywhere. There were chicks who called themselves comics. They were just there for Coke and dick. And it was the greatest time fucking ever. But all my friends, they didn't participate in that. Sebastian Maniscalco, Maz Jobrani, all these guys, Al Magical, Steve Renzizi, Ari Shafir, they all just focused on their careers. And they just went and did good stuff. And it took me a long time to get out of that. And now it's finally starting to turn, but I just focus on, I always say this in recovery. I was playing a game. I was trying to get a high score in a game nobody else was playing.
That's deep, bro. I like that. I like that. That was
and it just I look back on all that.
Put that on a t-shirt, bro.
Yeah, I look back on it because I thought like everything was rock and roll. Like you wanted to live that rock and roll, which was bitches and blow. Right. And then you look back, it's like, oh, dude, none of that means anything. It's useless. It's stupid. And now I just tell those stories as how sad it was. It's pathetic. It was great while I was doing it.
You know what? You went through that. You went through that period in your life, but now, like, okay, let's say somebody didn't go through any of that shit. There was no hardship. There was no like, dancing with the devil like you were doing. But now, bro, all the great thing about our world, like we're like writers in a band. We're like actors that can use it. So all that is useful in our craft, bro.
The best part is when we've been doing comedy forever. Like I don't know how Joey Diaz has so many stories. Like every day is a new movie in his life. He has all these fucking stories, right? So when you remember a story that you never talked about, that is fucking gold, bro. And 30 years in, we're like, oh, I never told that story. I'm going to tell that story. And it fucking, like, I got the story right now about how this was in 99, right? Okay. And I'm a crippling alcoholic. I get asked by the Key Club to host a bikini contest. And they're paying me in drink tickets. And I'm like cashing out my 401k with that. I'm like banging drinks the whole night. Because it would take 5 drinks of Jack Daniels just to get going. They used to feel okay, now we're in a good mood, right? So I'm fucking blackout drunk, and this chick, there's like 6 chicks in this bikini contest. 5 of them are the most hottest chicks you've ever seen in your life. LA Angry Hotties. And then there was one cute chick, and she knew she was in trouble. There's no way she's gonna win this. She had one thing to do. So so all the girls walk, and everyone's like, "Yay!" and they're angry. Why do I gotta be here? I'm hot, So they go back. The cute chick walks out, pulls her pants down, shows everybody her monkey, right? Just shows the fucking snatch. And this was in '99 when seeing a vagina meant it was like a spiritual moment, right?
Were vaginas hairy back then?
Oh yeah, just full bush, dude. And everyone went nuts.
Well, I would tell him to shave, bro. I would tell him to shave.
No, dude, I'm like, dude, is it ready? I don't give a shit.
At what age? About what year?
In the early '90s. I started. Yeah, early '90s.
I'll tell you when it came. When the fucking phones started coming out, then they started shaving it.
Oh yeah.
So they could present it better.
No, I was ahead of my time, bro. I was a guy that would always.
You like it clean down there?
Yes.
I just like it there.
I think the reason was because I saw my mom's pussy when I was 7.
That's traumatizing.
And it was real hairy, so I never wanted a hairy pussy because I related it to my mom.
Isn't that crazy? Your childhood is like a fucking minefield.
Yeah.
And you just take a step, something blows up, and it's just now that limps with you for the rest of your life. So she shows her pussy, right? Okay. And I'm so drunk, they hand me the winner. I don't even read it. I'm like, the chick who showed her pussy! And the place goes nuts. Well, the owner of the club had rigged it for his girlfriend, and he was pissed. So this is a true story. They grab me and they fucking throw me out, right? They throw me fucking on the street. I'm like, fuck you, I've been kicked out of bed. I'm blackout drunk. I get my car. I drive 10 feet. I get pulled over by the cops. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to jail. They get me out of the car. They're like, so what happened tonight? I go, you want to know? They go, yeah. I go, I'm hosting this bikini contest. The chick showed her pussy, and she didn't even win. They go, what? I go, yeah, she showed her pussy. She didn't even win. They go, she showed her pussy in a bikini contest, and she didn't even win. I go, yeah, in America. And they go, fuck, that's awful. They go, get back in your car. They put me back in my car. They give me a police escort home. So I hadn't talked about that on stage. I'm like, oh, fuck, that's a great story, dude.
Crazy.
Right? Like, that's the beauty of it.
No, I like that. I like that, bro. Fucking, bro, so many things could have gone sideways, man.
Oh, I could have never been in Canada ever again. I got busted buying, dude, this is a crazy story. I got busted buying speed off a hooker one time. She ran in, she grabbed the money. This is a funny story. She goes in, grabs the drugs, comes out. I gave her like $40. She hands me the smallest bunch of coke, but I didn't care because I just wanted to get high. So I pull out of the apartment complex instantly. Boop, boop, boop. Cop pulls me over. I'm like, fuck. I'm fucked. So I pull over, right? Cop comes up, goes, where's the drugs? I go, I don't have any drugs. He goes, where's the fucking drugs? I go, I don't have any drugs. So he starts fucking going through my wallet. I'm like, oh, he can't find it. Suddenly he pulls it out.
Ooh.
He pulls it out. It's the smallest nugget ever. He goes, where's the rest of it? I go, that's it. He goes, where's the rest of it? I go, that's it. He goes, what did you pay for this? I go, $40. He starts laughing and the hooker starts laughing because I got fucking robbed basically for this thing, right? So anyways, I go to jail that night. It's the first time I'm in jail. They put me in the cell and instantly they put this homeless guy in there and he shits his pants like right out the gate, right? So this is where it gets crazy, right?
That's not crazy?
I have a mohawk at the time and it's all frazzled. I take my fucking thing. I go, what are you getting charged with? They're like, felony drug possession. I start crying because I'm literally like, I'm never going to be able to go to Canada ever. I fucked up my career. I'm never going to go to Australia. So anyways, I'm broke at the time. I have no money, but I've been doing this Armenian charity event for fucking like at the time, like maybe like 10, 15 years.
Right.
And the head of that charity event is Garagos, the lawyer.
Okay.
And my girlfriend, who sticks with me through thick and thin, she goes, call Garagos, talk to him. I go, I'm not calling him. I got busted buying drugs off a hooker. She goes, call him. So I call the office, dude. He goes, hey, my name's Sam Tripoli. I'm a stand-up comic. I raise money for the Armenian Bone Marrow Registry. They probably don't want me saying this, but can I talk to Garagos? She goes, hold. Puts me through. He gets on the line. He goes, Sammy boy, what's going on? I go, I'm in a bad place, dude. He's like, what did you do? And this is a guy who was representing like George Peterson or whatever that dude who offed his wife was. So I don't know why I was so weird about it. I go, I got busted buying drugs off a hooker. He goes, oh, Sammy, why'd you do? I go, I got a problem with drugs. I'm dealing with it. He goes, okay. He goes, how much money can you afford? I go, I'm broke. He goes, can you afford $1,500? I go, yes. He goes, okay, I'll represent you. So he sends this woman lawyer to me. She represents me. And so I have a lawyer. They keep rolling it back. She shows up and she goes, we want the court files on the cop that arrested him. They're like, we want his police files. Next day we show up, the head of the police union's there. And they're like, okay, Sam Tripoli, you're next. So me and my lawyer walk up. They're like, okay, the police chief, head of the police chiefs union's here. What's going on? And he's like, we'd like to dismiss the case. She goes, what? She goes, yeah, we don't want to prosecute the case. We want it dismissed. They go, why? He goes, because we just want to. So they go, okay, case dismissed. And she goes to me, oh, you know what happened? He's a dirty cop. Whoa. And he's under investigation, and they didn't want his file getting out.
Oh, shit.
So if I didn't have a lawyer,
dude,
I would never have found that out.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Okay, no, maybe those are angels watching over you, bro.
Lesson learned, dude.
Right?
Lesson learned that day.
Future.
I just want to say, man, thank you for being part of
Willie,
this
I
podcast,
love you, buddy.
bro.
I know, we've been passing ships and all that stuff, but I've always respected you. You're a fucking hard worker. You're a fucking legit comic. And
Thank you,
I
brother.
appreciate
That means a lot, man.
I love you guys too.
No,
you were so funny that night I got jumped. You're like, I got jumped like fucking a month ago. I'm like, oh, so this is Roadhouse. Like, we should have just been swinging on this.
No, we're talking about the story when I got when I got into a fight there.
Oh, yeah.
Like years ago when the guy attacked me and shit. And we were fighting though.
Yeah, dude.
We were
like,
fighting.
Nah, fuck that, dude. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Terry says, like, Sam, can you be clean, please, tonight? I'm like, okay, I'll be clean. Now walk in the showroom and Greg Wilson's like, you ever licked a chick's asshole? I was like, what are we doing here? What are we doing in this weird-ass comedy club that I love? It's a great club.
No, it's a great. I find it a great place to go. I take my index cards on that.
As a matter of fact, we're gonna be there this weekend.
Well, so tell them I'm gonna be there Saturday, bro.
Saturday night.
Want to tell them, Fabian?
Saturday night, 8 p.m. Right?
There's actually 2 shows Saturday.
No, there's only one right now. There's only one show.
Only one show. Okay, 8 p.m. Yes. Yeah.
8 p.m. Yeah. And we're gonna have Norwalk Elvis there.
Norwalk Elvis is gonna sing a couple Elvis songs. So we're gonna be at the Ha. You guys are supposed to fucking pump this up, man. And fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm at the Ha this Saturday on Lancashire, 8 o'clock show, and then Saturday. Then Sunday. I'm in Venice.
Yeah, the Venice West.
The Venice West. Have you done that room, bro?
No,
I
just did a weird room called the Bigfoot room. Bigfoot Theater.
Dude,
It's
you
like-
should do. I think you would dig it. It's got a kind of a
like
like
an
a
old
vibe,
rock-
like
yeah.
an old vibe of
How many seats is it?
what was it, like 150?
Yeah.
Around
it's-
there, yeah.
Like 150, but they usually have bands, bro. And it's really
Kind
cool.
of,
love
it's
those
kind of like a
rooms.
Jam in the Van vibe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm down. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I'll definitely look into
So
it.
so I'll be at Venice West Sunday. Saturday I'll be at Lancashire, the Ha Comedy Club. And you want to tell them where to find you, bro?
Yeah, Willie Barcena on Instagram.
You can find me at Robert Zapata, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc.
And Sam, if you want to plug anything you got going on.
All things Sam Tripoli, samtripoli.com.
Your camera's right there, bro.
You can go to my website, whitenigga.com too. That's my website. Okay. That's my real website. And I'm going to be in Kansas City this week, then Chicago. Then I'm headlining the Comedy Mothership in December.
Nice.
And then I'm having my own. You should come out, Robert. You guys should all come out. We're doing the you guys just did the theater, the room at
Virgin.
in the Virgin. We're gonna do it on a Friday night, November 21st, and then we're all going to the Raiders versus Browns game.
Nice. Let's go Raiders. This is our year.
This is our year, bro. Every year we say that.
They made some crazy cuts, dude. They cut
So-
that kid they drafted in the 6th round, the Cam White guy. They cut the
No
quarterback.
way.
I couldn't believe it.
That being said, you guys, listen, much appreciation and gratitude. Like always, you guys. We'll see you again soon, man. Mad love, you guys.